again, if I could see a show of hands, please, and if you could give your name and the organisation for the question.
Pep, Ben Ransom, Sky Sports News. This game, obviously, the Champions League is very important for the club. The Premier League, you talk about as being the priority. The fans certainly prioritise the Premier League. How much of a responsibility do you have, given the magnitude of the game on the weekend, to pick your team accordingly in midweek?
Every game, good morning, every game is important, and you have to evaluate. The most important game will be Shaktar. First, because it's the first one. It's the next one. It's second, because it's a final. You have a big chance. It's not easy to win the third and the fourth game in the same opponent in the short time of period between both games. After drop the points against Lyon, every game is a final. You have a big chance to make an incredible step to qualify for any finals. So the next round, sorry. And then after we have 3-4 days to think about United.
Simon Crabtree from Premier League Productions. But we spoke with Kyle there about the home record recently. Does that play on your players' minds, do you think? And if it does, how can you change that?
Statistics is nice, to open the pages, but you have to evaluate which games. So the first game we lost against Basel, it was the second game. We won 0-4, I think, or 0-5 in the first game, the leg. The second game in Liverpool, we played so good. And after when they draw 1-1, of course, we had no chance and our intensity will down, and after we lose. But the game was over before the last 20 minutes, so when they scored, and that's true, the game against Lyon, it was the only one, and it counts a lot. But also it happened how difficult it is to win away, and after the last two games we won away. Or the last three, the last two we won away. So I don't count. Every game is completely different. Now we have a big chance to go to the next round, and that you have to think about it. I think we feel more comfortable to play at home than away. So, and I prefer to play here than in Donetsk, for example. So, and tomorrow we have a final, absolutely final for us to go to in February to be there for the best 16 teams in Europe.
Hi. Pep, Ian Ladyman here from the Daily Mail. There have been some allegations this week about the way the club has behaved in relation to financial fair play and the rules. Do you think that in any way undermines what you and your players have achieved on the field and what you're continuing to try to achieve on the field?
Well, I think about that issue, the club making a statement the last Friday about what happened about the stolen mails. So what I can say personally and the club, of course I trust a lot with the club, what they have done. And of course we want to follow the rules, what the UEFA or the FIFA or all the statements in the Premier League. They do what we have to do. So a part of that, believe me, I'm completely honest. So I don't know what happened because I'm a manager, I am focused what happened on the pitch, in the locker room, on of the pitch, but about the business, about they handle this kind of situation, I'm completely out of that. But I am part of the club, I'm supportive absolutely the club, and we want to do what really we have to do in terms of the rules. About undermine what we have done or not, so the opinions is free in that terms, and we know what we win, we'll be good accept, we will lose, we are not going good accept about because we are not able to win. So at the end, focus what you have to do on the pitch is only we can do.
And I understand that you are absolutely no part of the process and the things that are being talked about, but equally, some people may now look at you even when you win and say, well, you're only winning because the club has been spending money on players that it shouldn't have been spending.
I think that's it for the last decade. So the people is saying about that club in the last decade just win because we have money. I don't think because we think good things. So,
but there is a difference.
That is the issue. Always stay here, because they pass to stay in one level and to achieve another level. You need a lot of time, and of course money, but a lot of time. When you invest more, then this gap, the time reduced. To achieve that gap. And that's normal. When I was in Catalonia, in Barcelona, and after in Germany, always I hear and listen to the boys that Manchester City has a lot just money, and we have to live with that. I am inside now from the last 3 years, and I would say that, of course, like many clubs around the world, they're out of money, but they're an incredible club, and incredible people working here, and how professional they are in all the statements, not just in our departments, also here in this building with the marketing departments, on many other departments. It's an incredible professional club. They try to do the good things in the right way.
But there is
that is only I can say.
A difference between last one. There is a difference between spending a lot of money and spending money that maybe you shouldn't have been spending because of the rules.
You said that, maybe.
Well, that's what some people will now look at your team and say. How do you feel about that?
But I have to accept it. When the people say it, you win because just we have money, it's okay. What I would say, it's okay, I'll accept it. We believe we work a lot. Not just the manager, in that case it's me, so our staff, and especially the players. So always I said many times, we cannot achieve what we achieve the big clubs in Europe, not just in all the world in the big leagues, is because they have to spend. And spend why? Because we need good players. All the ideas that we have, without good players, we cannot do that. So I said many times here in the press conference. So the first is because we have that opportunity, that after that, if the people say just about that, we have to accept it. But my point of view is completely wrong. So because we work a lot, and we work a lot in a good way, and that's why I always defend, especially my players, what they do.
Okay, guys, we're going to return to a football press conference now. So, is there any more questions about the football game in the Champions League? Show of hands. Andy.
Hi, Pep. Could I ask you about Ilkay Gundogan, please?
He's ready.
Is he fit? Yeah. Any other injuries at all? Otamendi?
He's ready.
He's ready. Okay, thank you.
Except Kevin, Manga, the other thing are fit.
I know Pep, hi, Luke Edwards from The Telegraph. I know we've asked you this before every game pretty much about how you feel about your team winning the Champions League, but do you feel, having watched the last 2 away games, I know you've been particularly pleased with the way you came through at Hoffenheim and the performance against Shaktar, has that offered you any greater encouragement that your team is better equipped, just the way they've handled themselves in those difficult games?
Yeah, of course, results help, especially away, helps to be, more conscious or more able to say, okay, maybe we can do next step, but I don't know if the next steps to reach will be enough to reach the next stages and be there. So the first step is qualify for the next round, and we have 3 chances. Winning the 2 games at home, we will be there, and that is the first target, because the people say, it's not enough. Always my opinion, to achieve 80 finals is already a big success. But today, and every season is going to happen, big clubs is going to be out. They are not going to qualify for the next round. So to go through is already a big achievement. My point of view, I know for the people will not be agree with me, no problem at all. But after is, if we are able to do that, we're going to think in the best moment, arrive in the knockout games in the best condition as possible.
Alan Khan, Pep, good morning. Do you think this is the most open Champions League? Given that you just talked about big teams failing, do you think this is probably nobody can predict?
Was my feeling since I started to play the Champions League 10 seasons ago, or 10 years ago, every season is tougher. The teams are stronger, more well prepared, and go away, it doesn't matter the league, the opponent always is tough, really tough. Yeah, I don't know if it's the toughest one, because I could not say the last one, it was not difficult, but I have the feeling every season the players, the teams, the managers, the clubs are stronger, much better, well prepared, the desire is higher. And that's why it's more complicated.
Hi, Pep. I'm going to try and ask this question without coughing. In terms of David Silva, you coached against him when he was at Valencia and you were at Barcelona. What sort of growth have you seen in the player that you found in Manchester, and how easy has it been to imprint your vision on a player with his skill set?
What I guess are going to make a piece about David Silva, isn't it?
Thinking about it.
Yeah. It was a joy to... No, a joy. It was always a problem to play against him. And he's, I think, one of the most incredible players in the world playing in the pockets. Pocket is in a space, when a smaller space to find between some players, and that is the fewest, maybe the strongest one in the world to move in that spaces. It's like we try to attack in smaller spaces. The quality to move in smaller spaces is few players can do that, and he's a master of that. And I think he's enjoying a lot. I think I said many times, his quality surviving that competition in the Premier League means a lot for him. And of course, I suffer when he was an opponent. Now it's a joy to be his manager and to be alongside to him every game.
What does it say about English football that a player of his stature, as he's not a very tall man, has been able to play at such a high level in this country for so long? As for a long time, a lot of people thought that wasn't possible.
Because play football better than the other ones. So to survive in this kind of leagues on the physical teams is because you are a better football player. And the football player can survive whatever. The football at the end, we plays with the ball. And when he moves clever, in more intelligent way, it depends of the opponents, your mates, the ball, the tempo of the game. We need you more quicker, speed, more calm. When you read that, it's because you are more intelligent than the other ones. And when that's happened, you play here in South America, in Japan, and everywhere. So he's better than, he's clever, he's more intelligent than the other ones. And that full intelligent players can survive.
Gideon Brooks from the Expresser. There's been a lot of talk about rotation and the problems of rotating your squad, but is it possibly true that you've got two of the best teams in the country here at City?
If you have the best team in the
two of the best teams in the country.
I don't know. If we win, the people will say yes, but I don't know. I'm so satisfied. I said many times to how grateful I am with Manchester City provide me this squad. But I am unfair every weekend to every game to leave people outside, not being there because they deserve to be there. Of course, we have a depth squad and strong. Yeah, and of course, especially obviously for the fact we are 3 years together. 80 or 90% of the people we are here is 3 seasons together, and man, okay. Most of the guys, that's why we know each other quite well. So now, of course, I have the meetings, I have to do that and say what's happened, but if we would not say too many things about the opponents, all you have to do, they already will know it. Because, so a lot of games, a lot of reviews our games, a lot of preparations, and they know exactly what we have to do in terms of our opponents, our games. It's just to always you have to do, because always the one team is really team is when during the game and the situation is not going well, they cannot wait the half time on the end of the game to know what happened, and they can solve during the game it's happened that and take a solution immediately. That is when you become another step, and still we don't have that situation. That's why we're working to reach that.
Hi Pep, Jack Ransom from the BBC. The top three still unbeaten in the Premier League. You scored 6 on Sunday, and I think the top three have won 83 of a 99 possible points. Is this a problem? Obviously not for you and City, but is it a problem more broadly for English football?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a problem to score more than 18 points, 90 points. I don't know. So that means we have quite the same rhythm than the last season. I think we have 2 less points than last season, but we didn't lose in Anfield, for example. Last season we lost, and the difference is because the other 2 opponents are stronger, much stronger than the last season in terms of points. So it's not easy to find the Premier in the last decade 3 teams with 29, 27 points in that age. So it means the quality of the Premier League is higher, and and the 4 is there, and the 5th is there, and United is going to join us. So everybody's tied.
Is the gap broadening between the bottom clubs and the top clubs, do you think?
If you judge what happened this season, in terms, yeah. But you have to analyze that in terms of 3 or 4 seasons. When the 3 or 4 seasons, when every team before you can suffer away and the big clubs win always, it just win the league, who win between the contenders, and after we could say it changed, but before it didn't happen. But to analyze that, to make a sentence for just 11 games, what always in the past never happened before. So it's a thing, I would wait a little bit more longer to take that opinion.